Now, I will read Psalm 98. And we have heard lots of music today already from Psalm 98, and then you might want to know also that Isaac Watts, when he wrote Joy to the World, it is based on Psalm 98. King James Version today. Oh, sing unto the Lord a new song, for he hath done marvelous things. His right hand and his holy arm hath gotten him the victory. The Lord hath made known his salvation. His righteousness hath he openly showed in the sight of the heathen. He hath remembered his mercy and his truth toward the house of Israel. All the ends of the earth have seen the salvation of our God. Oh, make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye earth. Make a loud noise, and rejoice, and sing praise. Sing unto the Lord with the harp and the voice of a psalm, with trumpets and the sound of the cornet. Make a joyful noise before the Lord, the King. Let the sea roar and the fullness thereof, the world and all that dwell therein. Let the floods clap their hands. Let the hills be joyful together before the Lord. For he cometh to judge the earth. With righteousness shall he judge the world, and the people with equity. And I will also be reading John 15, 9 through 17 from the New Testament. Here, this passage is a section where Jesus is talking to his disciples. There are several chapters where Jesus is speaking to his disciples. This is a small section from that area. As the Father hath loved me, so have I loved you. Continue ye in my love. For ye keep my commandments. Ye shall abide in my love, even as I have kept my Father's commandments, and abide in his love. These things have I spoken unto you, that my joy might remain in you, and that your joy might be full. This is my commandment, that ye love one another, as I have loved you. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. Ye are my friends, if ye do whatsoever I command you. Henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth. But I have called you friends, for all things that I have heard of my Father, I have made known unto you. Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you, and ordained you, that ye should go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit should remain, that whosoever shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it you. These things I command you, that ye love one another.
Thank you, Janie, for sharing those words with us this morning. Thank you, choir, for the rich music that you've shared with us. Let us continue in a moment. Janie, is this yours? I can answer it when if it rings. It won't ring. Let us take a moment in prayer. Oh God, help us to center our thoughts, our minds, our entire beings on your word in this moment, that we might gain a new glimpse and understanding of your call in our lives. Amen. It occurred to me this morning when I was looking at the bulletin title, what's today, May 5th? So what's today? Yes, it is, but there's something else. My installation was 5 years ago on this day. Isn't that amazing? Oh, you've been stuck with me for 5 years. It occurred to me, I thought, wow, 5 years. 5 wonderful years, by the way, that I feel so blessed to be here. So thank you. We are creatures of habit, are we not? That's why the phrase like, oh, we've never done it that way before, kind of lingers in organizations, particularly churches, when new ideas come in and we're like, oh, I don't know. That's why most of us come in and sit in our pew, right? And we might chuckle at that a little bit, but it's true. And every once in a while, I get to observe, and every once in a while, people move to different places. And I think, oh, I wonder what's going on today. And then, of course, when a new person comes in, they're kind of not quite sure where to sit, because God forbid, they might sit in someone else's seat, right? Well, we know there's no assigned seats here, but it kind of shows a little bit of what our tendencies are and what our habits are. We like routine. It makes us feel comfortable. We generally know what to expect when we do things the way we've always done them before. Order makes us feel in control. And if you have any doubt about that, just think about when the unexpected enters your life. It takes some readjusting, doesn't it? And sometimes, and under some circumstances, we are better at that than at other moments. Of course, it all depends what that unexpected thing might be. You know, I never really paid a whole lot of attention to the day-to-day challenges of life, that things that change and pop in, except for when we moved to our farm and we were raising animals and growing vegetables. And we would figure out, Ted and I always joked around about our coffee. We called it our staff meeting every morning. And we talk about like, okay, what are you doing today? Or I'm telling what I was doing today and what we might do together. And we'd have it all planned, and then the phone would ring. And we'd find out that the 32 bales of hay that we had ordered were coming and they're on the way. So we had to be prepared to figure out making time to go get that off and store it, and nothing else could be done until that was done. We had to be flexible. We learned to be flexible. And not just physically flexible, that sure helps, but about shifting gears in the midst of things. We had to learn to adapt and rest assured that things would get done. But I'm not talking, that's what farm life can be like, but it's really about life, isn't it? All of life. Life in general. Life happens. Life happens. And that means surprises come. The unexpected occurs. Welcome or not. We each know in our own way what I'm talking about. We have and are experiencing such moments in our lives now. That's life. And quite honestly, I believe living is what happens when we're having to adjust, when we're needing to change course. I say that because when these things happen, we find ourselves having to make choices and decisions that we weren't planning on and perhaps never thought we would have to. But that is when we discover things about ourselves that we hadn't considered. Growth, strength, a deeper faith, and yes, fears, anxieties, anger. These are all true, all part of what it means to live and to navigate our way through life. That's what happens on that dash that we see, the date of birth to the date of death. That's what that dash represents. It represents our lives. Right now, we have our birthday, and we're working on that dash, right? And eventually, every one of us will have that end date too. There's no way around it. But that dash, though small and seemingly inconsequential, represents all that our lives have stood for. That dash is about how we choose to use our precious time on this earth. As I look around this sanctuary, and as I hold in my heart those who are not here today, as I consider my own life, I know that each of us is facing change in some way. For a variety of reasons. And at any given time, we may be dealing with more than one life-altering event. Some of these changes are easier than others. Some are welcome and exciting, and yet even those require us to adjust, to find a new rhythm and a balance. Many give rise to deep emotions, and in many cases, we didn't ask for these changes to happen. We weren't prepared for the disruption. It wasn't in our plan, and we feel out of control, confused, perhaps angry, afraid. We question where we go from here. How do we move forward? The quote by Abraham Maslow at the beginning of the bulletin captures the fact that we have two choices. And he says, in any given moment, we have two options: to step forward into growth or step back into safety. Safety might be appealing and serve us for a while, but in the long run, it's a bit of a retreat, holding back. It's like hiding our head in the sands. It doesn't serve us but little purpose in the long run. Instead, facing what comes our way and learning to sing a new song with our life is what makes a difference, is what puts us back in the driver's seat, is what brings us balance back into our lives. You know, it's okay to be found kicking and screaming, clenching our fists in anger and frustration when unwanted things come into our lives. And it's okay for a short time if that is how it affects us in that moment. But in the end, we either accept what comes our way or end up in a continuous battle that leaves us exhausted, demoralized, and unhappy. I'm sure many of you know the Serenity Prayer that was attributed to Reinhold Niebuhr, a Lutheran theologian who lived between 1892 and dash, right? What did he do with that dash in his life? A lot of things. He lived till 1971. But that little Serenity Prayer comes to mind, and as I say it, you might remember it and say it along quietly. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. In that well-loved little prayer is a way to find a sense of peace in our lives. It's about learning a new song and joining in the chorus with all of nature as the psalmist invites the rivers to clap their hands. The psalmist invites the mountains to sing together in joy, the sea to resound, and all of the world to celebrate. There is much to be grateful for. This very gift of life, that dash that we are all working on, how wonderfully we are made, each with our own abilities and our own talents, with our own set of circumstances, many pleasant and maybe not so much, but we are alive. And that alone is good. That alone is worth singing about with joy. We are standing, we are sitting, we are walking on that dash of our lives, and every one of us matters. No one of us is alone in that journey. We have one another. Our ways are guided and held in that precious Spirit of our God, who indeed has done and still does marvelous things in our lives by showing us the way to love, and how that love is key to embracing all of life. Learning a new song can be a challenge. And yes, that's what our faith invites us to do. To look at our lives in a different way, to lift up the positive and hold on to that we might sing songs of joy. A new song, breaking out of the mold that we've been in before, doesn't always come easily. It takes practice and the willingness to try. It takes finding our voices and joining in the chorus. And even if we are off key or on a different pitch, it might not serve well in our choir. But adding our voices to the universal song of joy and gratitude fills us with vibrant energy and a richer life. Have you noticed the changes spring has brought, especially in these warming days now? All of New England is alive with energy. Green shoots are pushing their way through the dark soil, reaching for sunlight. The buds are bursting forth, opening up to the sun and the warmth of the air. In the evening, perhaps you've noticed the chorus of song that the spring peepers are singing. Just take a morning walk or open your windows as day breaks and listen to nature singing outside. The birds of all varieties announcing the new day. Will you join with them in a song of gratitude? Here's my challenge to you today. No matter what you are facing in these days, and I'm not discrediting the hard things that many of us are facing, but I invite you to bring your whole self to each moment and to find your voice. Find your own melody, your own tune, and join in the chorus of gratitude. Join in the song of joy. I guarantee it will change your life. So sing to our God a new song. Let us join in singing a chorus of life-giving joy. Amen.